Hi everyone, I have a second little video blog I just wanted to do. Today I'm going to be talking about, what else? Star Wars. I want to start out by saying that I actually really liked The Force Awakens. In fact, I own the DVD here. I thought it was a very solid, very fun movie. I thought it recaptured the spirit of the original Star Wars very well. But yet there's also a part of me that felt like it could have been a lot more than it was. So I just wanted to kind of talk about, Star Wars past, present, and future. So, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. In fact, I sort of toe the line between being just a big fan and even a fanboy. I'm not like a super fanatic. I don't usually go to conventions dressed up as like Yoda or Darth Vader or anything like that. But, when there's a new Star Wars movie, I'm usually pretty darn excited. Because Rogue One's coming out this year, I'm excited for that. However, I'm also cautious because I don't know how it's going to be. It could be awesome, it could be terrible, it could be anything in between. Want to say the first original Star Wars trilogy, back when George Lucas really was in his prime, and I think really did have a genius idea. Those are some of my favorite movies of all time. The original Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and even Return of the Jedi, which I know people have been less shy about criticizing nowadays. I still love Return of the Jedi. The prequel movies, not so much. I mean, they had their moments, but by and large, I didn't think they were that special. I mean, I honestly don't despise them the way a lot of other people do, but by no means do I think they're anywhere near as good as the originals. I think that the writing needed a lot of work. I think that the acting was atrocious. And I thought that, they just had moments that were just, boring. The lightsaber fights in the prequels I thought were amazing. I think those are some of the best action scenes ever still, though. But that's about the only major standout point from the prequels. The Force Awakens, I wanted to talk about what I really liked about this movie really was the fact that it was fast-paced and, had very good actors and characters, like the characters of Rey, Daisy Ridley, and Finn John Boyega, both fantastic actors and fantastic characters. I would love to learn more about them in the future, and I think that this film did a pretty good job of actually setting up a new sort of Star Wars universe and a new characters. I thought Kylo Ren was a good villain. I know some people were actually disappointed by the fact that, he was just kind of a whiny brat and wasn't like this BA, tough guy, Vader-esque character that they were going in there thinking. But honestly, I kind of found it a little bit refreshing because, Darth Vader, it's hard to really top that. And, Darth Maul, yeah, he was an awesome villain for, the 5 minutes in the movie he was actually in, but then he got offed. I like Kylo Ren because I do feel like he is a character with some substance, and I actually think that hopefully in the next couple of films we'll learn more about him. On the other hand, The Force Awakens did have its issues that, obviously some of this will just be regurgitating criticisms of what others have said, but, I agree with them nonetheless. The whole Death Star, Starkiller thing, it's been done before. It's been done to death by now. A New Hope had it, Return of the Jedi had it, even The Phantom Menace kind of had it with, the Trade Federation ship. And then, they have it again, and the First Order is rises out of the ashes of the Empire. Some have actually said maybe it would have been cool if it was the inverse, where the good guys had the super weapon and the bad guys, maybe they had another smaller super weapon so that it would have been a mutually assured destruction if one fires and the other one fired. Maybe that could have made for a more interesting plot. I just feel I love the characters and I love the dynamics of the characters, the individual characters I really love. I just feel the plot as a whole wasn't that, original or didn't seem to be nearly as much weight to the plot. It just felt like it had been done before, as everyone else has said. And that is one thing that, going into The Force Awakens, I was really excited for it, but I also was aware that, it could go wrong. And, I walked out of the movie, having enjoyed it, but also feeling like it could have been a lot more, maybe even a lot better than it was. and like the more like I thought about it, the more I liked the movie each time I saw it. Like I've seen it 4 times now, and I'm planning to actually watch the 5th time soon, so I can catch some things. Like each time I watch it, I do like it more because it's a very fun movie. I do think that it's a movie worth owning on DVD and watching multiple times. It's just that there's certain aspects that I just feel like could have, been expanded upon or, fleshed out a little bit more, just been newer. Like, it felt very samey plot-wise. And I don't like using the word samey. I know some people really didn't like The Force Awakens purely because of that reason. Like, I don't think that's a good reason to hate on the movie as much as, a small segment of people do. I mean, if you didn't like The Force Awakens, that's totally fine. Nobody likes everything. There's no one thing that everybody likes made out to be. Like, the point is, like, it's impossible to please everybody. And, I suffer from sometimes hype syndrome as well, It's happened to me. I admit it. But that doesn't mean that, I still can't, enjoy a good movie for being just that, a good movie. And I think The Force Awakens is, at the end of the day, a good movie. That said, I want to talk about Star Wars' future. I think that Force Awakens, while it had its flaws and missed potential, it's still a very fun movie. I really hope that the next movie really does add a lot more weight to the story, like, just a lot more, like, it needs to raise the stakes, like, make us care more about the galaxy as a whole. And why should we care about what's happening now? Like, why do we care about what the First Order is doing? Like, yeah, we saw them blow up a couple of planets, but we didn't really get to know anything about those planets other than it's the capital. I want to know in Episode 8, why do we care about the outcome? Like, how will it affect, like, Rey and Finn in the long run, like, and Luke Skywalker and Leia and BB-8 and Poe Dameron and Kylo Ren and Snoke. Like, why does it all matter? And that's what I really want to find out, because I think that that's one thing the original trilogy did great. I think that by the first movie, like, we already cared about what was going on. Like A New Hope, like, it built up this world, and like the Empire, we saw like how evil they were, and like even though we didn't see Alderaan, we heard about it, like, we saw, Princess Leia's from Alderaan. Like, when it blows up, we care. That shows, like, why we care about the magnitude of what the Empire is doing. And it's not just that it's a random planet or set of planets like the capital was. It's because one of the main characters is from there. That's where her family is. That's where she's had her whole life. Like, there's nothing really like that, I don't think, in The Force Awakens. And, like, compared to the issues that surrounded the prequel trilogy, it's very small potatoes. But I just hope that the next movie really, really expands upon that. As far as, like, Rogue One, I'm excited for, like, the idea of, like, a Star Wars spin-off. I think it's a really cool idea. It looks to be a lot more like a war movie. It doesn't really look like a Star Wars movie in the traditional sense. I really don't think it's trying to be, and I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'm probably going to see it in theaters. Like, Star Wars, I think it's... Like, Star Wars is such a huge name now that, like, anything with the Star Wars brand is almost a guaranteed gonna sell. Whether it's a movie, a video game, a novel, graphic novel, comic book, action figure. Like, if it's Star Wars, people are gonna get it. They're gonna see it, they're gonna buy it. And I think that, Star Wars is popular for a reason. Like, it did something at its time that no other movie really did, and I think that to this day, it's still with us. I do think that, there is a lot of nostalgia riding on, the love a lot of people had for the old Star Wars movies, for both good and bad. And I think that, it's good to kind of tap into that nostalgia, but in small doses. It's like you don't want to put too much sugar in your coffee, You want the natural flavor of the new movie to come out. And I think that The Force Awakens definitely maybe put a little bit too much of that nostalgia sugar, as I called it, into it. And I hope that Episode 8, raises the stakes without being another just another retread of Empire Strikes Back. Because, like, Empire Strikes Back really is a very unique, important movie, and like I just don't want that movie. Of all the movies that I want them to do a retread of, that's the one I want them to do the least. So I really do hope that the next one is more something new. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of different kinds of Star Wars related movies and things in the future, and I think that's really cool. I think that some of them could totally fall flat. They could be terrible. Some of them could be pretty cool. I mean, it's a money making franchise, and now that Disney owns it, I think it could be like the next MCU, which has its ups and downs. I don't particularly want it to be like that, but I think that's the direction it's headed. That said, I'm excited for Rogue One. I'm excited to see what the next Star Wars movie is like. This is just sort of a random blog. I'm probably going to post it, and I'm probably going to expand upon it after I watch The Force Awakens. And I think I'm actually going to go back and watch all of the Star Wars movies within the next year. I'm going to watch all of the original movies, and I'm even going to watch all of the prequel movies to see, if, either they're worse than I remember, or maybe they're better than I remember. It's been a while since I've watched them all back to back, and I think the reason why we like certain movies is contextual to its time. Like I know a lot of people who didn't grow up watching Star Wars, and some of them, watch it and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. I really like it. And some of them are like, what's the big deal? So I do feel like, a lot of the time what is really special to us is dependent on, the time in our lives when we experienced it. And I think that's definitely true for me in the original, Star Wars. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we sort of need things like that. We need, those fantastical, good moments in our lives to sort of, it's good to remember the good aspects of our past, especially when, as an adult personally, life gets a lot more complex, and, sometimes it's just nice to have that. On the other hand, I also think that we need to sort of use that to do something new, to build a new path, and I hope that's what they've started doing with the new Star Wars. I know that went in a completely different direction than I planned, but nonetheless, I'm really just doing this for fun, and I want to have a conversation, so tell me what you think of Star Wars. What did you think of The Force Awakens? What do you think of Star Wars as a whole? Do you have any interest in the upcoming movies or games or anything like that? Or books or action figures, This is really just a casual conversation, so I want to know what you think, and yeah, thanks for watching.